Hi there. It seems like everybody's having some trouble with the section on dividing line segments. So I'm going to do a couple examples here for you. Hope that this will help to give you a little insight into how to maybe attack these problems. The key to these problems is really two-part. The first part being that this unit is all about distance. So you're going to need to start by finding the distance, horizontal and vertical, between the given points. So in this particular problem that I'm doing, B is between A and C. So B is going to be located here between A and C, which means point C is going to be somewhere above point B. The ratio between A and B and C is 1 to 1. So the distance, or the length of that segment, and the length of this segment need to be the same length. To get those lengths, we're going to create triangles. Little trigonometry again. We're going to create triangles, and we're going to do it by looking at the horizontal and vertical change between points A and point B. So using our idea of distance in the x direction, we're moving from a point that's at 1 to a point that's at 2, or we're going from 2 back to 1. So our distance in the horizontal direction is going to be 1. Doing it in the y direction, we're moving from 0 back to -9. Remember, distance is calculated by taking my two coordinates and just subtracting them from each other. And if it ends up being a negative value, you do the absolute value of that. So in this case, I do get a positive 9. So the triangle here sets up so that it has sides of ratio 1 and 9. Now, the easy part about this one is that it is a 1 to 1 ratio. So when I go to find point C, I'm simply going to repeat the triangle I have on the bottom. It needs to have a ratio of 1 to 9. And then I'm going to use the coordinates for point B to help me figure out where I am now with point C. So point B was at 2, 0. We're going to move 1 in the horizontal direction. So we're going to take 2 and we're going to move 1 in the horizontal direction. And that's going to give me my new x coordinate. And I'm going to take the 0 off the coordinate pair. And I'm moving 9 in the y direction, which gets me to 9. So the coordinates for point C should be 3, 9. Okay. A little different kind of problem here. They're giving you the whole segment. Find the coordinates of point B on AC such that AB is 2/7 of AC. So we want to point somewhere here on B, and we're going to find that point so that the ratio between A and B and such that AB is 2/7 of AC. So again, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a triangle out of this, and I'm going to look and see what the distances are on that triangle. So going horizontally, I'm going from -7 minus +7. And again, distance is never negative. So my horizontal distance is 14. My vertical distance is -4 minus 3, which is -7. So my vertical distance is 7. It wants the ratio to be 2/7 of that. So I'm going to take each of those segments and I'm going to find out what is 2/7 of that segment. So the horizontal distance being 14, I'm going to find out what is 2/7 of that segment. And using the skills we learned about simplifying fractions, I can reduce diagonally there and multiply out. So it's 4. The horizontal is going to be 4 units. The vertical distance, 7 times 2/7 is going to be 2. Now what that means is that in this triangle up here, when I move from here to here, I'm moving, oops, sorry, this should have been vertical. I'm moving 4 units, 1, I gotta figure out where the heck I was. I was at -7, so I'm going 4 units, so I'm going -6, 5, 4, 3, so I'm moving to -3, and then I'm moving vertically 2 units, so I was at -4, so I'm going to be at -2. So the coordinates for the point B, so that the ratio should be 2/7 of the length, should be -3, -2. Okay. Third type of problem. In this third type of problem, and the reason this one's a little bit different than the first one, and I can show you this. If you read the statements about the ratios, in the first problem I did, it was doing AB to BC. This problem, however, is doing AB to AC. So instead of splitting the segment into 2 pieces, it's doing a small piece to the whole thing. So I've taken time, I've graphed my points. Here's point A, here's point B. I know point C is going to be somewhere up in the second quadrant there. The ratio between A to B and B to C, I'm sorry, A to C is 1 to 3. All right, so using our idea of distance, we're going to find our horizontal distance first. -2 minus -6 says we're moving 4 horizontally, and -3 minus -1, we're moving -2, or we're moving 2 vertically. And that's going from point A to point B. So I'm going 4, 2, 2. Now that's a ratio of 1. For the large triangle, to find out where point C is, I need my ratio to be 3 times as large. So where this was 4, this needs to be 3 times that amount, or the distance from A to this point needs to be 12. And again, going vertically, because the ratio is 1 to 3, and this segment here was 2, this segment is going to be 3 times that amount. 2 times 3 is 6. So the value for that side of the triangle is 6. And now I can start at point A, and I can find out what point C is by simply going, point A was at -2, and I'm moving to the left 12 units. So I'm going to the left 12 units. So I'm at -14. And the other half of the coordinate was at -3. And this time I'm rising 6 units. So I'm going up 6 units. And I'm arriving at +3. So the coordinates for point C here are -14, 3. All right, I was going to do one more yet. I just didn't finish the problem when I was getting ready for this. So find point B on AC, so it's the ratio of A to B, and B to C is 3:1. You'll notice that B is a common point, so B is in between A and C in this case. So let's get our graph here real quick. A is at -7, +2. And C is at 3, -2. So here's the segment length I'm working with. And I want to find a point B somewhere on that segment, so the ratio from A to B, and is 1, and B to C, I apologize, A to B to C is 3:1. So I want A to B to be 3, and I want B to C to be 1. All right, so let's find the distance between these 2 points. This point was at -7, +2. This point was at 3, -2. So if I find the distance between these 2 points to start, -7 minus 3, so -10, and 2 minus -2 is 4. All right, so now kind of the tricky part of this question maybe. As I look at the segment here, the ratio is 3:1, which technically means that the segment has been broken into 4 sections, 3 of them up here, 1 of them down here. So there's kind of 2 ways to approach this question. One way is I could take each of these and now divide them by 4, breaking this into 4 equal parts. This distance here was 4. This distance here was 10. And if I break them into 4 equal parts, so if I divide this by 4, that means each triangle is going to have a ratio of 2.5 to 1. So I can move from either point. I guess I'll go from A, since I've been going from A every time. So I want to go 3 of those units to the right. So I'm going 7.5 to the right, and I want to go 3 of those down. Sorry, I'm just checking what I did there. I think what's confusing me is my graph is so bad. This is supposed to be at positive 2, and I mean, you can see I kind of missed positive 2 there. So this did work. I was at negative 7. That was my x coordinate. I'm moving 7.5 units to the right. So I'm ending up at 0.5 in the x direction. I was at positive 2. I'm moving down 3 units. So I'm at negative 1. And my coordinates for my point B are going to be at 0.5, negative 1. Now I said there were 2 ways to approach this. The second way to approach this is the ratio here was 3 to 1. So I want segment AB to be 3/4 of the entire segment. There were 3 segments here. There was 1 here. I want 3 of them to be up here. That's 3 out of the 4 of them. So if I go down here and I take 10 and I multiply it by 3/4, I end up with 7.5, which is how much I needed to move to the right. And if I take 4 and multiply it by 3/4, I get 3. And that's how much I needed to move down the y-axis. So there are 4 examples. I hope this maybe gave a little bit more clarity to the situation. If not, please do not hesitate to send me a message. If I need to do it again, I will. If I need to set up a time tomorrow to chat with anybody, I will. We can set up a Zoom and work through some problems together if that's necessary. Whatever you kiddos need, you let me know, okay? Hey, take care. Hope to hear from you soon.